Let's talk again about Enzo Fernandez. With Casemiro and Eriksen being essentially 30s, United starting midfield pivot week in, week out, is basically at, if not already beyond, its peak. And while no one is questioning their quality today, we have to question their longevity. And United need to be a team that starts to be proactive in replacing people. The bigger issue at the moment clearly is let's replace the striker we don't have before we even start looking at midfield. But I would love this club to start being proactive and start going, do you know what? Before this becomes a problem, we're going to fix it. And have some sort of a transitional period where someone can take over and you know if they're good enough or not. And if they're not, well, you have to look for something else. But it becomes less of a dire and desperate situation because you've got them sort of semi-integrated anyway. And I want us to move away from stopgap signings. I want us to go, I'm going to put the house on this kid and I'm going to watch him do bits for us. I did a scout report earlier in the year where we sort of touted Enzo Fernandez as being one of the best young prospects to come out of South America. And in 5 months of a season for Benfica in Europe, he's already more than delivered that.
21, unproven in Europe, unproven in the Premier League, yeah, granted. But certainly someone with the ability to go on, kick on and do more. Really effective in and out of possession. Really effective in possession with multifaceted abilities on the ball. He can get in the box, he can score goals, he's a creator, he's someone that keeps the ball moving, but he also helps break down low blocks as well. United's history with South American players is spotty at best. But the Premier League has increasingly shown that South American players can thrive, survive, and become legends here. Whether or not he's got the consistency and the ability to be able to do it Premier League week in, week out with the physicality and all the other things that comes with adapting to moving to England. But on the face of things, when you're talking about the raw ability and there's some decision-making stuff that you see from him and you go, yeah, you're making those right decisions no matter what level you're playing at here. These are just good decisions. So I wouldn't mind us having a bit of a gamble like this. Enzo Fernandez just lines that one up perfectly. And for me, he would be one of the names that I am looking to get in. In terms of a scout report, I would say not the finished article, not a certainty to be a success in the Premier League, but for the money, he could go and be absolutely spectacular.
He was available from River Plate and was signed to Benfica for 18 million euros, and he'll be worth 3, 4, 5 times that. He's a midfielder that plays the deep line playmaker and also has tendencies to be a bit of a box-to-box sort of number 8. And he can get into the box and score goals, and he's a bit of a threat from anywhere 25 yard out. Enzo starts as a central midfielder for Benfica and has made great contributions in both areas really, both attack and defence. And he's already been involved in 8 goals in 24 matches this season. He's had some incredible performances in the Champions League that have left people raving. His passing range is superb. He's got a bit of an innate sense to break lines, to find teammates in excellent positions, move the ball up the pitch. He circulates it nicely. He has an extremely high pass completion rate per 90, which is 87.1%. The number of passes tried per 90 is ridiculous, 96, which is insane. And what he's been doing in the last year is a clear example of how he, at such a young age, is controlling both the tempo and where the game plays. He can do the easy stuff, the little keep hold of it, let's recycle possession. And then when you speed it up, when you want a line-breaking pass, something that's delivered on the turn to a striker, he's got that in him as well. And he can speed it up with, he can set 2 touches, he can put his foot on the ball and get his head up. Or he can hit you with a 1-touch, pass and move, and really start ramping that tempo up. And I think that makes him one of the most press-resistant players in midfield. And that's why I think he's he's quickly finding his feet in the Argentine national team as well. We've seen his creativity in the final third. He has got a bit of a love for playing incisive passes through the line, where he moves the ball quickly and it arrives with precision at somebody's feet or with the right weight just in front of someone so they can run onto it in the final third. And he plays a massively important role off the ball as well. His work rate, his energy, his dedication, undoubted, just undoubted. He's got an engine. He covers a lot of ground. His positioning is just naturally good and efficient. He's got great anticipation. It leads ball recoveries for the team. And I think if you was to talk about a weakness, he'd be a little late sometimes with his challenges. But he does have the ability to regain possession with a very low centre of gravity. He gets in there, tackles hard, wins the ball in essential areas in the middle of the pitch. And what stands out for me the most with him is his hunger and his mentality. I think he's got a lot of Lisandro Martinez qualities about him, where there's a calmness and there's a quality about what he does, but don't fuck with him. And I think that's a hell of a thing to have. He's pretty nailed on to become one of the best midfielders in the world in the future. Simple as that. And we thought that 6 months ago before he went to Benfica, before the last 6 months has happened, when all he has done is affirm how good we thought he might be. He is the modern day all-action midfielder. He is capable of playing deep, advanced, or doing both. You honestly couldn't put a genuine price on having him. And like United could sign him and he could be part of United midfield for 10 years. And I think if you was looking at him and or Jude Bellingham, you'd be looking at a serious prospect in your team. And I think United should move absolute heaven and earth to bring him in. Simple as that. Now, whether or not you can prize him away from Benfica, there is a release clause. It's a weighty release clause. I don't think Benfica will be looking to flip him in January. I just think it's worth talking about how this guy needs to be on a shortlist somewhere where Manchester United can bring him in, and we can bring him in and do whatever we need to do with him. But he's brilliant, and I would love to see him in a United shirt.
Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.